Hello and welcome, this is Mousegunner, and we're back with some more MechWarrior 3. The loadout I ended up going with for the Annihilator is one that I've been wanting to do for some time, and that is put in a bunch of large pulse lasers into a mech and see how it does. This is going to be experimental. I don't know how well it will do with the heat generation. We have 21 double heat sinks. Hopefully that can contend with the heat generation of 4 large pulse lasers, but I don't know. I've never tested a loadout like this, so we'll have to see. I do have the LRM-15 that I had in the mech before, but I've added in an Artemis fire control system, which will give us faster lock-ons, and I did add a little bit more speed into the mech to help out in that regard. So we'll have to see how well it does, and let's go ahead and launch up. Now, I did split the pulse lasers into 2 groups. Alright, so that was group 1, group 2. Oh, we're having the music glitch, I think. Yeah, it's kind of stuttering. Sometimes this happens. Usually the music cuts out after a little while, so I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know if there was any other instances of it happening in previous recordings. Okay, so we have to decide which one to go after. Let's go after the champion because it's the one that's closest. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, we are overheating, so let's switch to the missiles and just keep with that. So I was afraid of the heat generation possibly being a problem. I'm not going to switch. Okay, got Mad Cat coming in. Okay, let's go after it here. That's too close for the missiles. I think we're far enough away at this stage. Okay. Switch over to the other Mad Cat. Annihilator, we're going to want to stay out of range of that. I really do apologize for the stuttering of the music, but as I said, it usually cuts out at some point in the mission. You know what? It's directly in view, so I don't see a reason why not to just hammer it with the pulse lasers. This is the reason why we did this loadout. Down he goes. Okay, another champion coming in.
Enemy approaching. Do not advance. Draw them back to us. Star Commander. Watch your step, people.
For the clan, Simpkin.
Waiting for rendezvous coordinates. Roger that, Lance Leader. Transferring now.
Okay. Going in behind buildings. Right, coming in here. I can't even see it, but I'm gonna fire at it. I have no idea if I'm hitting it or not, because I cannot actually see it. I think I'm hitting it now. Oh, champion.
Arrived and are ready to deploy.
Sometimes you see hits on the target, and sometimes you don't with the lasers. They can be... Yeah, it seems like if I don't change the weapons around too often, it works out okay. If I just stick to the 2, then of course, then why am I putting in 4? That's the way I end up going.
Targeting.
I'm just going to take care of the guys that are in front of me. Well, they're in front of me. But I'm going to switch over. So I don't know how good this loadout is, honestly. I don't know if it does damage fast enough. It was just something I wanted to try out all this time and see how it did. I don't know if it's really doing all that well. I highly doubt my allies took much damage there. But yeah, heat generation was definitely... It's definitely a problem if I try and fire the weapons as fast as I can. See, now the music has gone away. It's not really a problem as far as the stuttering goes. It's just a glitch that sometimes comes up when you keep playing the game for a protracted period of time. Every time you load into a new mission, there's a possibility that it will happen. It's not going to happen all the time. And I've been able to avoid it in a lot of these recording sessions. Sometimes when I get it, I just immediately stop what I'm doing and end the record session and try again. That was back in the past when I didn't have all the allocation and stuff to do ahead of time. Now that I have that kind of stuff to take care of, I try and just go ahead regardless. But yeah, definitely am able to... really, I almost wonder... The LRM-15 is kind of pointless at this stage. The only real advantage it gives me is the ability to hit things that are behind a hill or something. And that is kind of hit or miss. No pun intended there. Okay, we're supposed to destroy this village. Alright, let's heat the sucker up. It could also be easier to use if I didn't have the LRM-15s in there. Because I could more easily switch weapons without accidentally firing the LRMs, which is sometimes what happens if you have too many systems. You're trying to switch through quickly. Alright, so this is where I really hope my allies do not screw me here. I'm gonna have my mobile field base just start moving here to get them over the bridge.
Primary objective complete.
Because we don't want the allies to blow up the bridge. So I'm hoping that they cross the bridge. Once they cross the bridge, I'll cancel their move. And then we should be fine. But I'm going to keep an eye on where they actually go here. And I'm not going to move me or my allies any further forward until I know exactly what's going to happen here with this bridge. So I'm just going to keep an eye on these guys. Make sure that they cross the bridge okay. As soon as I visually see them across, all three of them, then I'll cancel the move. Looks like they're going to cross the bridge. Or are they just going to go straight into the water? They're just going straight into the water, so you don't really need to save the bridges. So that part of the mission description is actually incorrect. Okay, we'll just cancel their move. And I'll go ahead and blow up this bridge.
Power-up detected. Targeting.
Okay. So this is one of those situations where LRM-15s can be useful. That is if I could get the lock on. Because we can do this. I think where I hopped into the water here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out. There's a ramp there. This guy's getting close. Hopefully we can draw his attention so he doesn't blow up our mobile field base. Alright, I'm gonna try and take out his leg, but I think my allies will take him out before that happens. Especially as he's not facing me, he's gonna get his rear destroyed. Go down, leg. Oh, here he comes.
Mission successful.
It looks like we've already done our mission. And I'm getting hammered here. You definitely want to kill this guy, if it'll give us any salvage, of course. Let me duck out of contact with this guy so he doesn't keep murdering me. Ideally, I want to take out his leg, if I can. Okay, we did it. That mission wasn't too long.
Missing one pair of supernovas.
I sure didn't miss them. 2 stars is enough, thanks.
The supernovas were obviously rotated north, probably replaced by the pair of champions. Count on seeing them in the next mission area. There are also more Daishis around somewhere.
We could sure use an atlas about now.
Well, yeah, we didn't get the assault mech. I tried taking out his leg, but I think it was a little too late. We did get a Mad Cat, although we already have a couple of those. But it gives me one that I could potentially use, so that's good. Other than that, I think we're
moving along, but the retreating rescue company is winning the race. Captain Taylor reports that they are already staggering in by singles and pairs.
Any way they can walk a little slower?
Taylor won't leave without giving us every chance. I won't deny that we need a bit of luck. Now, as you can see by our satellite enlargement, we'll be coming in at the southern edge. Expect things to heat up quickly. Unless we have more shuffling, we should find a pair of supernovas, some vultures, and a few Orions at the least. Where they've been set is anyone's guess, though expect a heavy force sitting at the large supply base at this op point. At that supply base is our main concern. We want to capture it for supplies, so take out any and all enemy mechs guarding that facility without causing it too much damage. There's a bridge just south of the base and another as part of an auxiliary post to the west. If we run into too much trouble, bring the bridges down to buy time.
While we're on the north side of the river or the south?
I guess that depends on where we find enemy mechs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, point.
There is a village to the east, but all indications are that it houses laborer caste, so it's low priority. But below the lake, there's a structure that we're not sure what to make of. Recon and capture the facilities you find there. We'll make the call on destroying it once it's in our possession.
Alright, let's go ahead and salvage this. So I think I'm just going to drop the avatar. I don't know if that's something I'm going to really want too much. And yeah, I mean, I could get rid of a vulture and have that replace. Yeah, sure, why not? We don't need to have 2 vultures. We'll get rid of 1 vulture and we'll get a Mad Cat in here. Now, something I could potentially do is get out of the Annihilator and go into a Mad Cat. That'd give me more maneuverability. But from what I've seen so far, the enemy's throwing a lot of firepower at me, and the more armor I have, the more survivability I'm going to have. And at this stage, it kind of makes me feel like staying in the Annihilator is the best way to do things. So I'm going to really have to see what I think of this. Honestly, this loadout I did, I don't think it's all that effective, but I wanted to try it and see how effective it would be. It kind of convinces me that maybe I shouldn't keep a hold of as many large pulse lasers as I have, because really, a build like this, I think I would have been better off with a bunch of medium pulse lasers at close range and just lay into the enemy that way. Or honestly, a build that I had a long time ago, just have a bunch of medium lasers and just fire them rapid fire. That could potentially do a absolute ton of damage and may actually be the better build out of all these things. I mean, medium pulse laser might not actually be the best way to go. So I may experiment with some builds as far as stuff like that goes. I may try out a medium laser build here and see what we can do by cycling fire rather than firing things all at once. What I would do instead, I could keep the LRM-15 on board, and that would be like the sole long-range firepower that I have, maybe up how much ammo it has so it has a little bit more endurance, and then just have a bunch of medium lasers. I could keep on the heat sinks that I have, may even be able to fit more in than I currently have, so I'd have to play around with it. But that probably is going to be the next build I do. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead, because this was a shorter battle, let's just tool around with that here in this video. So as far as I'm thinking, we will remove the LRM-15's fine and its ammo is fine, but I'll remove the pulse laser here. There should be another one in the center torso, and then we have one in each arm to make 4. So with that, I could fit a lot of medium lasers here. Now, if I remember correctly, before I may have had like 6 or 7, and I wasn't quite getting enough so that if I cycled through it, it was continuous fire. So we're going to look for maybe 8 or 9, and if I can do that, what that would mean is if I am cycling through a group, that I would be, if I'm firing every time, it would be like there's not really a delay. It would just wrap around and wrap around and wrap around, so I could continuously fire. So as long as the heat sinks can keep up with that, that would be really cool to pull off. So let's see if we can do that. I have 19 medium lasers to play with. That's a lot. We could go with the extended range version, although those generate more heat. So, and I don't know how many of those I even have. Let's see if we can find them. Yeah, I have 10 of those. It would be enough, but I would have to worry about the extra heat generation. So I can do any more damage. It will have greater range, which would make it in some ways more effective, because normal medium lasers are not that great as far as range goes. So let's try this. We'll put 2 in the center torso. I have 10 to use, so hopefully we'll be able to pull it off. Right torso, we'll put in, well, let's go with left arm first. The left arm, I'll put in, let's say, 3 of the things. And then right arm, the same thing. Okay, and then maybe 1 in the right torso. And then we could fit in another double heatsink in the right torso. Okay, well that's 10 medium lasers. Maybe overkill, and we may not be able to contend with it as far as our heatsinks go, but we have the tonnage to spare for that, and I could even bump up my speed as well, which would be nice. So let's go with that. We could fit in another double heatsink in the left arm, so I'll go ahead and do that. We fit one in the right arm, so I'll do that. And at this stage, I think we're pretty much maxed out. Although, didn't I put in a Beagle active probe somewhere? I may have thought about doing it. I don't know if I actually did. Well, an easy way to tell is, do I have a Beagle active probe? I do not. So we could think about it. Or we could put in that extra ton of ammo that I've been thinking about doing. Problem with that is it'd have to go within here, where the case is. So I could take the medium laser out, put in the ammo instead. Sure, let's try that. Ammunition, LRM-15. Been doing a good job of keeping up with the LRM-15 ammo. So I guess I'm going to end up having to put an extra medium laser in the right arm, which is fine. It does make the arms kind of vulnerable. But there we go. 10 ER medium lasers of clan variety. Could be very effective. Weapon group wise, I'm fine with them all being in the same weapon group because the idea here is we keep it on cycling fire and we just go through it continuously. 10 may be overkill, but we'll see. I'm just going to go ahead and put the LRM-15 in group 2. So the idea behind this one is it kind of stays within what the idea of the Annihilator is. Really very devastating close-range firepower. From what I've seen of a lot of the battles, I end up pretty close range. So that's what we're going to want to do here. Now, as far as other things we can do, I have filled out every slot I have. So the only thing really left to do is increase speed, which I've just done. And now we have, what, 5.5 tons? 5.5 tons left that I honestly can't do anything with. Changing the extra light engine to something else wouldn't really benefit me because it would be such a big difference in tonnage. As a matter of fact, it probably won't even let me do it. Yeah, it's a difference of 20 tons, so that's not going to happen. I can't fit any more armor on. I'm maxed out there. So this is as good as it's going to get. I haven't filled out all the tonnage, but again, the slots are all filled out. So how many... we have 24 double heat sinks that have to contend with 10 medium lasers. We'll have to see if that is something that actually will happen. It's possible we'll overheat here. I mean, this is the equivalent of 48 heat sinks. And if math was... I don't know about extended range lasers. I'm not as familiar with that. But if these were standard medium lasers, it'd be 3 heat apiece. If we were playing with the Battletech tabletop rules, it doesn't tell you how much heat... how heat dissipation works in this game. It tells you how much heat the weapon systems generate as far as... And I believe 3, it's the same. But it doesn't tell you how heat dissipation works, because... with a loadout, if we were doing this, either normal medium lasers, that only generate 30 heat. And in other builds I've done, the amount of heat sinks I had should have contended with how much heat generation I would have built up, but that's not how it worked actually in game. So again, I don't remember how much heat an extended range laser generates, but let's say it was 5. In theory, we're generating more heat than the heat sinks can deal with. So we'll have to see how we do. But I have high hopes for this being pretty effective. And it's kind of a fun build, and I like fun builds. So we are going to save it. Do a new save. We'll call it Mouse 3. Okay. Well, that is going to be it for this video. And of course, the pulse lasers have nowhere to go because of the salvage and everything. But I'll worry about that in the next video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.